Well, as part of Social Development Month, Minister Lindiwe Zulu will today launch the review into child poverty and child support grant. Her department commissioned the Children's Institute at the University of Cape Town to undertake a comprehensive review of child poverty and also the value of the grant. eNCA reporter Hloni Mtimkulu is following the story for us and joins me to give us more details also about how the program is looking. Hloni, a very warm good morning to you. But let's talk about firstly the significance of this launch today.
Yeah, that's right, Dumelo. So in about 2020, the Social Development Minister commissioned the Children's Institute at UCT to take a deeper look into the issue of child poverty in South Africa. It's a glaring issue without needing to have a report or a study on it. We know what's happening in the country. There's glaring inequality in the country, and it does affect children a lot. And actually, Stats SA even said that more than 500,000 households with children that are aged 5 years or younger reported experiencing hunger in 2021. And obviously, that would fit into the child support grant situation and how much of that child support grant goes to kids and whether it is enough or not. The food poverty line in 2022 last year was 663, and for 2023, according to Stats SA, it's gone up to 760. The child grant itself has gone up this month from 500 rand to 510. So you can already see that there is already this gap between what the child support grant is, what the food poverty line is, and the affordability. And we know we're living in a cost of living crisis as well, and just the impact of that. And also we just know that the situation is now around. So the Department of Social Development has tried to get a better understanding of what is happening and ways around working that, where things are at the moment. And so the report will be unveiled to us in about 8 minutes time at 9:30, just to get a better understanding of what is happening. The speakers today, just so you know, I'm going to try and see if I can get to that. So obviously the Minister of Social Development has just arrived, Minister Lindiwe Zulu. She is here as well. You also have, we are at the Nelson Mandela Foundation, so they are here as well. You're going to have a talk on the comprehensive social security, also looking at the financial analysis of the budget. We know that the budget for 2022 and 2023 for a child grant was 77 billion rand. So we'll have someone analyzing that as well. We'll also have the presentation of the study findings and recommendations from UCT themselves speaking about that. There'll be medical research and findings about that as well. So it's a program over the morning just to kind of understand where South Africa is in terms of the child support grant, its impact or effect on childhood poverty as well, and just the bigger socio-economic picture of the country, Dumelo.
Absolutely. And I mean, Claudia, every time we talk about, the children grant and whether or not it's enough even for, alleviating or at least reducing and stopping child poverty, one wonders, with the current economy that we're going through, does the money, number one, is it efficient? But number two, does it really go to the needs of the child? We've often heard even South Africans, whether they're lamenting on social media, saying, do the parents really use the money they receive for the child towards the needs of the child, or do they have to now try and balance everything else within the households? I'm assuming that those are the discussions that will take place today.
Yeah, that's right, Dumelo, and with what we saw last month with the delays in the paying out of the social grants and just the impact of that, not just the child support grant, but also the older age pension grant and just the whole system around that. We expect that, that will be a big feature of or some part of the conversation that will be happening today. That affordability, that the increase is only 10 rand from 500 rand to 510, when the food poverty line is 760 for 2023, 663 for 2022. How do families afford it? The talks, we always go back to this, that people do say that some people are having children just so they can access this grant, but it's 510 rand. So even if people are having children for this reason, as people say, it's not enough. You cannot afford to live on 500 rand or 510 rand and take care of yourself and take care of a child as well on that amount of money. If you're living in a home with grandparents as well, it's 2,090. That's that's not affordable enough, and what are the measures that are in place by the department to try and alleviate some of that, to try and say we are living in a cost of living crisis. We've seen inflation skyrocket to historic levels as well, even though now it has decreased, and how do people afford just the basics, even given that prices of food, especially food inflation, has gone up as high as it has. So hopefully there will be insights into that and ways, I guess, around trying to see if that can be managed or can be dealt with or can be made better, or the burden can be made easier for the most vulnerable and the families that are suffering the most, and children who are most affected by the inequality that we see in the country, Dumelo.
Looking forward to hearing what comes out of it, Hloni, because I just wonder if money is the only resolution. Are there any other solutions that will come out besides, funds such as the grant, whether it's psychosocial, whether it's, it's trying to alleviate societal issues besides just the economic ones? But we know that at the heart of it, it's the economic issue that lies in most communities where children find themselves poverty-stricken. We'll leave it there for now, Hloni, and come back to you should there be any other, of course, developments. Hloni Mtimkulu out for us at this launch that's currently taking place with Minister Lindiwe Zulu. The program looking for, as Hloni mentioned, they will be hearing from UCT themselves, we'll be hearing from the Nelson Mandela Foundation themselves, the Sassa CEO as well will be speaking, amongst other various dignitaries there, all in attendance to try and come up with a solution to end child poverty.